So, how many people think that all this is a coincidence, that all these bands and crazy prophets and Bible prophecies, and it's just a coincidence that it was prophecy being told? Well, what is prophecy? You know, how do you prophesy something from that long ago? Well, you have to be smart, that's for sure. You have to be manipulating, controlling a lot of events, more than you could do in your lifetime, more than many lifetimes. So how would you ensure that, or how would you prophesy and know that it's a real prophesy, that what you're saying will be done when you're not there to oversee it? Um, well, that only explains a spiritual battle. So to me, that's confirmation that spiritual realm is very much part of our everyday lives, part of our everyday thoughts, I should say. But I mean, it's got to be seated here in the physical plane, and that would have to be a bloodline, which we all know, that families, royalty, and uh, they have a lot of secrets. And but which royalty, which bloodlines, which, you'd have to have some actual factual proof, something to go off of, to point you towards the truth. And so, I mean, the 13th judicial bloodline makes sense. If you look back where all the families all spawn from, you mean the Fabius family in Rome, back, overthrew the Roman Empire and took over control of it. Um, and they've been in control ever since, I'm pretty sure. I think now they're pretty much like the Bilderberg group. Um, I mean, it's not one person in charge. It's originally might have started with one. And the reason I'm saying all this is because, I mean, the Bible and all that was written by these guys. Um, they needed to control the people, and they used their own religion to do it. They sacked the Roman cathedral, and or they sacked the Roman, or the empire in Jerusalem, and then said they left archives with not one stone left on another. They completely destroyed everything, is what that means, and wrote it all themselves. And these are the books that we get, and that is the reason why Constantine, inflicted the books that he did, and why you've never probably even heard of a lot of the books, like the Book of Mary, and I believe is probably one of the more, or most, I don't know, important or critical book that we should be reading, like, and look into, because that's, I think, Jesus' wife, and yeah, she would know Jesus better than anybody. She was also a very rich, powerful woman, so makes you look at Jesus a little different if that's his wife. Um, Also, they were in wartime. It was wartime. They were at war with the Romans. They were under rule that they were trying to come out of. They've been fighting for years, and we're continuing to fight all through Jesus' lifetime. Um, so I mean, I don't think he's necessarily how they portray him as uh, peaceful, and I believe he avoided conflicts that had to be avoided through intelligence and logic, and used the Gnostic knowledge to guide all of his footsteps, which probably greatly reduced the amount of violence that had to be done by him and his followers. But I believe that they were the outlaws of the time, being chased by the Romans and their rulers because of what they were teaching. They were teaching Gnostic knowledge, and it's Gnostic. Some people don't like people knowing who they are, why they are. I find it just pure cupidity, but I don't know. God has his reasons, I'm sure. Sure there's more to it. Probably to refine us, break us down, make us smart. But I mean, just research a little bit into your theology and look at all the religions. They're all the same. Um, Jesus traveled all the way up into Tibet, um, and studied with the monks. And I believe he developed some of their religions with them, as yoga and a lot of these spiritual things. I mean, he said, "Come, follow me, take me in. My my ways are easy. My load's light. You don't have to live. You don't need all the complicities and it's, nothing's that convenient. And anything that's worth doing is worth doing right, right? Uh, he cared and he loved for people and he understood things because of his love for himself and the love for his planet. And we're just supposed to be like him. There's a big debate over if he's Lord, or a lot of people see him as a Lord. I'm not determined on anything. I mean, I don't like to fix any idea, but I don't see him as Lord. I think Lord is the spirit of our unified conscious, and he was just a contributing factor into the change. He was a leader in that change, of that development of the Lord, and he was just an awesome dude. And we're supposed to be like him. He just did it right. God just said, "Look at that one. Be like that guy. That's good. Okay? That's right." If you really like power, you really like absolute certainty in things and knowing for sure, then be righteous. Righteousness will take you over mountains, through rivers, take you out into space. It's what develops your virtues and your character. You don't know who you are until you've been put in situations where your character really comes out, where you're forced to have that virtue and that virtue shines, and you learn how to intently nourish it and develop it further. Then you start to see who you are, and it's all through righteousness. So put your foot where it needs to go. Don't think about it, and you don't need to think about it. You've thought about it. Just control your own thoughts. If you're not sure why you're doing something or not sure what you're feeling, you should be controlling what you're feeling. Nothing, no one, no circumstance, no happening, no criteria, no judgment, nothing should make you feel any which way but what you want to feel. So you choose your perspective and you choose where you stand. So you choose where you feel, you choose how you feel, and you choose to feel. A lot of people don't like to feel. They have to think. They think that's work. What is work? It's a lot of work. But that's your will. How much you think and how hard you think is how much heart you have. That's your will to be. God will only let you be if you will to be. If you won't will, then you just be a minimal part in all this. You won't have those jewels in heaven. You won't have a crown on your head that says that you tried. No matter what you did, that you tried in a way that succeeded. That those seeds you planted grew food for people and problems that you never knew existed. So just be righteous, be smart, be humble, be kind. It's very important. Always take your less than your fair share. You know, watch out for your own cupidity. your greed and your pride. Those are very detrimental to our existence. Um, let's all get together and think, not let people think for us, so that our society can be one of thinkers, can be one that's incorruptible, indestructible, and let's war against war. Let's not end the war. Let's end war. Let's take that though out of there. Let's fight the war to once and for all end the war. I don't know if I want to be fighting forever. I mean, wouldn't much to do without it, I guess, but I think there's more to do than I think there's more to grow us than our conflicts with each other. I think we'll do a lot more growing by working together. I don't think it gives us that competitive edge. People think a lot of the stuff that we have nowadays is from war, you know, microwaves and a lot of technology that we have nowadays, a lot of convenience that we commerced out and pretty much just made ourselves complacent and lazy, lazy in thought, lazy in structure, lazy in moral aptitude, lazy in critical thinking, really. I mean, how many critical thinkers are really out there anymore? If I start thinking and telling people what I think and they fucking looking at me all wide-eyed like, wow, like how do you even come up with thoughts like that? How do you not? Everybody should, right? They should critically think on topics that critically affect them. It's critical. It's critical. um, yeah, I believe the God, Lord. If you do some looking up on the Lord, it's kind of a little devious and confusing. Could be translated into Baal, but I mean, the Lord God of child sacrifice Baal is kind of ironic, is that that's the one he was fighting, the great I am, and then all of a sudden you have this Bible, most of the Bible after that that's based in the Lord, and the Lord came, and the whole story is about a father sacrificing his only child. So I think there's just a lot of deception, and I know there's a lot of deception and manipulators and evils in the world. A lot of bullshit. But I think we'll overcome it all. I think we're glad we had it. I know I am. I'm glad of all the conflict and pain and hard times faced in my life. All the moments where I was scared. It was the best moments of my life, really. Showed myself something. Showed myself I wasn't scared. Showed myself I was capable. Um, I mean, it took some reinforcement on some of these things to be confident in a lot of situations that I've been in. I mean, training and pre-thinking, pre-planning really helps um, these moments where you're not too sure about yourself. You just forget about that and just do what you taught yourself. Do what you were trying to do. I mean, if you haven't pre-thought what you're doing right now, then you should be pre-thinking what you're about to do, because you don't want to be hit with anything unexpected at these times. It could be painful. So just words to get you through this COVID op. Wear a mask. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't trust corporations. Don't trust authority. Question everything they do. Look for alternative ways that doesn't infect or impose so much change on our liberal stance and more on our actual social stance. Like, I like the line separations in places, good social distancing. Now, taking away our guns, I don't see how that's gonna. I mean, If they people had more guns, I would be staying more away from people. I don't get that. Personally, it's because we all know what's going on, and we're not sure how to organize ourselves anymore. But can't be lazy about it. I mean, back in the day, how did they get a posse up and going? I mean, they went out there and told everybody, and they searched their character, and their character was they couldn't morally stand for something. They were righteous. And it's about being like that in a group, being like that together, being like that as a community and as a social, and keeping our moral codes high. And we've failed to do that. We care more about how many likes we get and who's got money, who looks cool, who's got the coolest car, shit, who's got drugs. I mean, what girl's hot? Guys just thinking about pussy, pussy, pussy. They can't figure out what's actually going on in their lives. They don't even care. Um, you know, I don't know. I can't say what and who does where and what they should be doing, but I know what I'm doing, and I wish you'd all pay attention to what you were doing. Then I think we'd all be doing the same thing eventually, working together. Nothing like working together. Yep. It's funny you'll find certain people that work together beautifully. Like me and my friend Carl, we did some weeds for this guy a while back, and it was pretty good. But I loved how we worked together. It was a healthy competition of what we were doing and make sure that we were both doing what we needed to get done, so that we weren't slacking off or making more work for the other person or doing more work than the other person and getting the same pay. We kept the competition pretty, you know, kept challenging each other, and we were evenly matched in the work we did. Um, which is what we need to be doing. You know? It's because you're good at something, you mean, doesn't mean you need to do it all. It's one thing I need to figure out is I can't do everything. I want to be the one doing everything, so I know it all gets done right. It's not the way it works. I have to let them do it so that they could learn to do it right. And I don't know. I guess I'm just greedy and trying to learn everything up. Um, but I see a lot of people wasting knowledge and wasting precious resources and just unappreciative of what they have. I mean, a lot of people don't know what they have, and they're gonna realize it real soon. And I think that a lot of that power and those necessities and those assets are going to be placed into people's hands that can do work with them, that could change and take care of people, who could care and understand human aspects and living situations, and you know, like all these problems that we're having with anxiety, depression, mental, suicides, shooting up places. That's not human. It's not humane. It's not complicated to be human. He placed us here in the Garden of Eden, and we started tilling the soil to try to make it, I don't know, convenient for us when it was already built and made perfect for us. I mean, like, go outside and look around. You don't need you don't need a lot of this stuff. It would be better without it. I mean, I think there's a very healthy medium where we could take of what to keep and what not to. Stuff that we shouldn't sacrifice because we've already instilled it in ourselves. I mean, I'm not saying go and live like savages. Girls like to look pretty and wear makeup, and I like how they look dressing up all pretty. And not to say we need to go backwards in ways like this, but I mean just in how we get our food, and we should. stay partying and I don't know what I was saying there. Sorry about that. I had to talk to my mom. Bless her little heart. uh, let's just start building up all those little farmers out there. Um, let's let them have some of that success. And let's start defending ourselves in ways that isn't necessarily with our hands, and it's not necessarily with our heads, more with our hearts. And we do that by, that's why there's ethics put in place. Rules of operations is how you work. Morals. Let's really start searching ourselves and finding our morals, because it sucks without them. We're living in chaos, destruction. It's stressful, and everything just starts to look fake, like an illusion. You can't tell what's what. You can't trust no one. You can't believe what anybody says. It's a lot of mind power that we need to be put on things like fixing world hunger and, a lot of other things, a lot of suffering in our world that doesn't get our attention because we're too busy defending our own pride or breaking someone else's down. Let's cut that shit out. I'm personally not a violent guy. Well, I enjoy fighting. I don't enjoy hurting people or getting hurt, and I don't enjoy the resolve of a lot of things that are violent. But I do stand for a lot of discipline, I guess you could say, and man-to-man discipline. We got to let our brothers know when they're out of line, and it's better to do that in a respectful manner and one that builds somebody up. So pick your battles wisely. Don't fall for social hype or the bandwagon, or don't listen to what people say. Don't even look at what people do. Just look at what you're doing to people, and if those people really appreciate it. And if they don't, then they're probably not doing you good. They're probably not doing themselves good. So look for somebody that loves themselves. If they're not, don't judge them. We all have our hangups. You don't know their life. You're not in their shoes. Their perspective, it's not your perspective. So it might be easy to see the way out that they need to take, but it doesn't mean you could force this on them or even show them it. Something that they have to go through time and see themselves. Let's be understanding of that. And maybe just think some critical thinking of how you could help these people in those situations. And sometimes just making people feel good is the answer. Positivity and raising that vibrational level that they're on will change their whole life. So, in all the love of the great I am, and all the love of the great you are. My name's Joseph Daniel Rameli, and I'm very critical of the Bible, very critical of myself. I've not been the best guy, not been a bad guy. I've not sought to do harm, but I've sought for selfish things for too long. And I'm ready to feel that unity of people and grace of God and all the fruits of labor that I'm going to put in and willing to put in. And I just hope that the world appreciates and shows me what I could show it. I know it will. That's how it works. Law of attraction. So, all love, the great I am. You have a good day. Have a good new year, 2020s. How exciting. Get your seeds in the ground. You know, maybe learn some self-defense. I mean, that isn't a gun. Learn how to fight for your rights. Learn when to fight for your rights. And just know that your civil liberty is calling. If you're an American and you call yourself an American, even if you don't like America, but you take their food stamps or any of that, your liberties as American is calling. And it's telling you to think critically of everything around you. To not let spies and political corruption corrupt your mind and leave you like a sheep to slaughter. So, I know God's there. He's everywhere. That's why it's all the love of the great I am. Because I am. And you are. So, let's start by changing your perspective, not somebody else's.